seeking the opportunity and taking action with intention, with excitement, may not lead to anything that you wanted at all, but you needed to do that in order to create the state of being which the thing that you actually are authentically meant to create in your life can do so. And that attachment to a specific outcome is very often the thing that's blocking that from happening. Welcome back to the Artful Dollar podcast. My name is Ryan Roi. I am a tattoo artist, a financial seeker, a spiritual seeker. I am a student of life and always here to see how this thing we call life, reality, consciousness can be expanded. And I am fascinated with our relationship with money and how triggering it is and how stuck we get. And I try to bring a broader perspective to the ideas around money so that we can be free from the burden of money. That is my ultimate goal. And I wanted to take some time, do an episode just sharing some of the things that I've recently been researching and looking into in terms of consciousness and how they relate to our relationship with our purpose in life, our job, our relationship with money. And I just wanted to talk about that through the lens of a man named Darryl Anka. Now, I'm actually going to be speaking more about Darryl's alien friend. He claims to channel, and I can't prove for sure, and I don't really care to. He claims to be able to channel an alien being from another planet, another dimension. And whether or not that's what he's doing, and you don't have to believe that at all, I'm not sure that I completely believe that. Whether or not you believe that that is possible, the words that come out of his mouth that he's able to share with the world are pretty extraordinary. And I've been diving deep down a rabbit hole with it. And again, I'm always looking at it through the lens of how can this serve me? How can this serve you? And particularly in the area of money, in our careers, in our ability to express ourselves authentically, because I think as artists, our greatest asset, our most valuable asset that we have to offer both ourselves and the world around us is our authentic self-expression, our creativity. And so these rules for life that Bashar, this alien entity that Darryl Anka channels, has laid out for us are pretty extraordinary, and they directly tie to your life's purpose. And I feel that there's a lot that we can learn from them. So I just want to share a little clip of Bashar, or a clip of Darryl Anka channeling Bashar, so you get a sense of who this is, what it is that I'm talking about. And it's rather fascinating. If you're listening to the podcast, you'll hear him maybe breathing for a second, and then he's kind of in it. So I'm just going to share this little clip with you real quick, and then I'm going to read the formula for life that he's laid out and share some of my perspective, my thoughts on it.
A little say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right? All right, thank you. First of all, thank you for the co-creation of this interaction, this day of your time, and the allowance of this transmission. We are always given a gift in being given an opportunity to interact with each and every one of you, for it expands our understanding of all the different ways that creation has of expressing itself. We would like to begin this transmission as we have titled it, Dare to Dream. And the idea is we know many people on your planet have dreams that they imagine can unfold in their lives. But quite often, the definitions, the beliefs that you hold on to, hold you back from really taking action on those dreams, because the definitions allow you to create all sorts of reasons why it won't work, definitions that seem to make things more difficult than they need to be, obstacles in your way that seem sometimes insurmountable. But a lot of that happens because of the conditions themselves that you place upon your dreams, your excitement, your passion.
So that is Darryl Anka channeling Bashar. And that is a 3-hour long video. It's pretty impactful, I have to say. And a lot of what he talks about and speaks on is the nature of our beliefs and the way we use them to filter our experience. So our circumstances, right? There is the external circumstances that we are faced with. And then there's the internal belief system that either turns that external circumstance into something that is a problem, that is stressful, that is a bad thing, as if it shouldn't be the way that it is, or our internal belief system takes it and uses it as something to be excited about, a new challenge, a new direction that we're being pointed in. And often when we're faced with particularly large breakdowns in life, and you could say in the area of money, there seems to always be some breakdown right around the corner waiting to sneak up on you, some curveball that's being thrown your way, and we try to prepare ourselves, and we get stuck in this loop of believing that something's wrong with money. I feel like I can identify with that, and I'm 100% certain that everyone listening to this can identify with the feeling that there's something wrong when it comes to money. And I want to use this formula that Bashar has laid out to offer a new perspective on the idea that there's something wrong with money. And let's see how we can apply it. So I'm going to share that formula with you right now. So this is the formula as it has been channeled through Darryl Anka from Bashar. And the first rule, so there's 3 rules here. The first one is to, and if you're listening at home, I'm sharing it on the screen, but I'm going to read along and share my thoughts. So the first one is to take action on the opportunity that contains the highest excitement. For me, I was so excited about the opportunity to become a tattoo artist. That was the thing that excited me the most in life, and I pursued that to the farthest degree that I possibly could until something else excited me more. And that became financial coaching, marketing coaching, business coaching, education. And I still absolutely love tattooing. I mean, it's still one of my favorite hobbies, professions. I own a shop. I absolutely love it. It is not the thing that has excited me more in my recent life, which is really a total surprise. I never expected that to be the case. I don't know if you identify with this. Maybe you don't at all. But there became a point in my tattoo career after about 10 years of tattooing where I just kind of felt like there was more that I had to offer. There was more that my being, Ryan Roi, this person inside of this meat sack, walking around, bipedaling around on this rock, floating around this fireball in the vast empty void of outer space, I felt like there was just more to life, and I didn't know what that was. I identified so strongly with being a tattoo artist, but I just felt this like internal calling, and I just had no idea. And the last thing that I thought it would be, the literal last thing that I ever thought it would be to do something around money and finance. Literally the reason I started getting tattooed when I was 18, 19 was because I wanted to avoid any career path in the realm of seemingly corporate America or sitting behind a desk. And that's what finance seemed to me. And I've come to learn that that's not at all what it has to be. It can be this really fun, joyous game, this exploration of curiosity, and even an expression of creativity. Money can be all of those things. And my belief systems around money had to shift. And money can be your enemy, right? It can be your burden, or it can be your canvas, your place to be creative, to dance and play. And it really depends on the belief systems that you have that will either turn it into a breakdown, a barrier, a burden, or a place to play and create and share and be a generous gift to the world. That you yourself can be a generous gift to the people around you and the world around you. And that has been my experience, and I've shifted that, and I don't know where my excitement will take me in the future. That's kind of the exciting thing or the interesting thing about it. But wherever you're at in your career, in your life, if you feel like something about what was exciting you, about what you're doing now. And again, you might not be a tattooer listening to this. Whatever it was you got excited about, you pursued it, and then something felt like it might be more exciting, but you didn't know how to escape that identity that you had wrapped up in the thing that you were doing for so long. Just know that when you take action on the opportunity that contains the highest excitement, synchronicities seem to fall into place. The universe seems to place that next step that you don't know is there, that you step out into the void and you hope that something shows up to catch your foot. I've found that it almost always certainly does, and even when it doesn't, it just leads you to the next thing that presents that opportunity for you to pursue your passion and your excitement, even if it is unexpected, even if it doesn't seem like what you thought it was supposed to be. He goes on to say that in terms of this rule, that the highest excitement doesn't have to come in the form of a project or a career, right? It could be music, it could be family, it could be cooking, it could be anything. As long as an option contains even a little more excitement than any other option, act on it first. And I just love that, like looking for, okay, the thing that's been exciting me for so long in my life. And this isn't stop doing that thing. I'm not telling you to stop doing that thing, or he's not telling you to stop doing that thing. He's just offering that if there's something that excites you a little bit more, act on that first. And then also do any of the other things that you do in life. Excitement is your body's physical translation of a communication from your higher mind. Respond to it and act on the excitement. So there's this idea of the consciousness, the subconsciousness, and then like a higher consciousness. And that excitement is sort of like a message coming through from your higher mind to your body, to your consciousness, subconsciousness, that is telling you, hey, this direction, move in this direction, take action on this first. It's what's exciting you. It might not make any sense. You might seem out of your mind. And I think that is one of the hardest things for people in continuing on the path of pursuing what excites them, is that at some point, what excites you might seem crazy. It might seem scary. You might worry about what other people might say or do, and it stops you from pursuing that thing that excites you. But know that no matter what, if you pursue it, it will lead to the life, the fulfillment, the circumstances that you seek, because seeking your internal experience to come from your external circumstances will always lead to disappointment 100% of the time. When you seek to fulfill your external circumstances through creating a fulfilling and rewarding internal experience, that will always lead to a rewarding external circumstance. I hope that makes sense. So simply put, you cannot find the peace, the love, the joy, the happiness that you're seeking externally. And I know we hear this all the time in all kinds of spiritual texts and, oh, yeah, I know. But if you, let's say this, try it. Really, really try to find that fulfilling life outside of your internal experience, outside of your belief systems. And if you keep finding it leaving you wanting something else, feeling unfulfilled, like it's not quite everything, then I invite you to look inside and look at your belief systems, practicing all kinds of awareness techniques and meditation and breath work. That is what I've found has continued to lead me in the direction of a more rewarding, fulfilling life until I run into the next external circumstance, the next belief system that is stopping me. And then I have to go back and restructure and relook at those belief systems, because you're never fully, unlimitedly free. If you were, you would cease to exist in your physical form. You would just, you would stop. Check your beliefs to make sure that you aren't making anxiety appear to be excitement. So sometimes we trick ourselves into thinking that, oh, this fear, I've definitely done this. I'll be completely honest. Although there's times where I do really enjoy making content, there's times where I feel like I need to do it for some purpose because of my job, and I need to give the people what they're wanting, and whatever those internal beliefs are that just aren't serving me, and it's really just anxiety, and I make really crap content when I do that. And the other rule is to check your beliefs to make sure that you aren't making excitement appear as anxiety through fear-based definitions. So there's content. I mean, I feel like I explore more of the content I want to make on this podcast, and I'm afraid to explore some of those deeper metaphysical, spiritual realms in my social media content, because I don't know why I have this belief system that I will be judged on there and people will criticize me. Let me know if you're listening to this in the comments if you want to see more of that, if that interests you, because that interests me. It excites me. It excites me more than just talking about the numbers and the strategies. They're all great. I think all that stuff is super interesting. But what really excites me is taking a deeper dive into looking at the energetic, spiritual, metaphysical, philosophical, emotional, and thought-based parameters, structures that exist around our relationship with money, and breaking them down so that we can recreate them newly in a way that really serves us and brings us more freedom from the burden of money. That's what I'm interested in. So if that interests you, please let me know in the comments. I would love to read that. It would probably give me a little less fear around sharing that stuff on other platforms. I just want to pause for 1 minute because we talk a lot about limiting beliefs around money and marketing. And if you are struggling to market yourself on social media, I want you to ask yourself, if millions of businesses use social media to generate billions of dollars in revenue, then how is it possible that tattooers can't use social media to book thousands more per month in tattoos? And if it is possible, what's stopping you from using content to generate more business? If you're interested in learning a content strategy that has been proven to book more tattoos, I am leading a content strategy masterclass for tattooers where I show you the exact strategy that hundreds of my clients are using right now to generate $5,000, $10,000, even $15,000 a month in additional appointments. And you can get all the details by hitting the link in the show notes down below if you want to sign up. If not, no worries. Back to the show. So number 2 is to act on that excitement to the best of your ability. Pursue what excites you most and then act on that excitement to the best of your ability. Use all your skills, talents, imagination, and abilities to take the action. Act to the fullest degree that you are able to act. If more than one opportunity has equal ability to be acted upon, choose either, and it will show you whether or not to continue down that path. Sometimes we wonder, should I do this thing? It feels exciting, but I'm also excited about this other thing. Should I just stay doing that? Or maybe there's 2 new opportunities and you don't know which one to pursue. It kind of doesn't matter if they both excite you equally and you aren't really sure which one is more exciting. Just pursue one. And maybe that one leads down to a total dead end, but you needed to pursue that in order to clearly see what the next action is so that you can then pursue the other one. But we get stuck at the crossroads in our lives. And so then we just kind of keep bipedaling on, doing the same shit, wondering why it is not fully fulfilling us. Keep acting on it until you have no more ability to act. When you can act no further, choose the next most exciting thing that you're able to take action on. So if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like there's something in your life or in your career that you're not able to take action on, or at least not in the way that you have been, look and see what is the next thing that excites you. What's the next thing that resonates with you? Maybe that is, I'll say it here. I'll speak from my own experience. Okay. I think that's easier. I started my own studio in 2016, small private studio. And I was feeling very overwhelmed around the financial burden of running a studio, of knowing that, okay, how old was I? I was like 28 or so at the time, maybe 29, realizing like, okay, I've got this like situation. I got to figure out retirement, and to do that, I got to figure out taxes. And it felt like this burden and it was stressing me out. And I felt like it was actually impacting my ability to tattoo and act freely in my career, in my life, because I was worrying about it. And I realized that if I take on my relationship with money, I could get excited about it. I could create a partnership with money that would leave me more free to act. And just the idea of that became exciting to me, because ultimately that would leave me with more time, more energy, more money to make the tattoos that I want to do. So it was like I tied this thing that felt like this burden to the thing that excited me, that I felt stuck around. I felt like I thought I was going to open up the studio and it's going to free me. And I felt more burdened than ever. And so that led me to, okay, well, let me deal with the taxes thing. And let me research the whole retirement game and see what that's about. I didn't expect myself to get excited about that, but I did. I found myself reading about finances that I didn't need to read about. I found myself reading articles and books simply because I was fascinated with it. And I felt this experience of excitement in my career, in my tattoo career, that I felt had been missing for a while, and I had no idea that that was going to happen. So recognizing that, again, check your beliefs to make sure that you aren't making anxiety appear as excitement. Make sure that you aren't making excitement appear as anxiety. I think for me, and I can only speak for myself, I did have anxiety around money. And through leaning into that and exploring it a little bit, I realized that it was excitement. It wasn't anxiety. But I didn't know that until I started to explore and give myself permission to explore this thing that I thought was anxiety. This stuff can be a little bit tricky, a little complicated at times, but I invite you to open yourself. Wherever you feel tight around money, first and foremost, allow yourself to feel that tightness. Let it be there and sort of ask it, where do you want me to point my attention? What could I play with, get curious about, and potentially even get excited about? Because I've seen now hundreds of people who felt like money was just a total bummer, total fucking bummer, actually get excited about their relationship with money. It's possible. And when it goes from being a bummer to being something that you are actually excited about, you reveal the fact that this thing that was anxiety really felt that way because of fear-based definitions. And it turns out that it's actually something that you can play with, you can dance with, you can create with and get excited about. It changes your whole life. It changes everything in your life. So I just invite you, the listener, to look at that. Recognize the signs, the reflections and agreements that indicate an inability to take action. Are you truly incapable of taking action? If you are, recognize those reflections, those agreements, those indicators that there's not going to be any fruit down this tunnel, or at least the way I'm going down this tunnel, this direction, the way I'm going about it is never going to bear fruit. And I find that we can take action in a direction that will not ever really get us where we want to go. So I find this one to be a little bit tricky. It's saying recognize the signs and reflections and agreements that indicate an inability to take action. I feel like we always have an ability to take action, but sometimes we keep taking the same action and it's not actually getting us where we want to go. We keep believing the same beliefs. We keep pursuing things in a certain way, and I've definitely done this multiple times in my life, and I've had these really big breakdowns. I'm kind of going through one in my life right now, to be completely honest, where the things that I used to do the way I did them simply aren't working the way I thought they would. And I am recognizing that barrier, that indicator that taking this action is not going to get me where I want to go, and I'm revisiting my beliefs to see what ways I can allow them to transform, what new possibilities, what new perspectives can I invite in, and listening for what's exciting. Where does it get exciting? Let me do that. And the last part of this, number 2, is physical parameters, laws of society, moral values, and ethical standards can all indicate whether or not you have the ability to take action. Physical parameters, laws of society, moral values, and ethical standards can all indicate whether or not you have the ability to take action. That's an interesting one. I think what's being said here, again, this is my interpretation, is we have beliefs around the physical parameters, around the laws of society. We have beliefs around moral values and ethical standards. And those beliefs around them will indicate whether or not you have the ability to take action. That's how I'm interpreting this. So again, it's not that the physical parameters, laws of society, moral values, or ethical standards are keeping you from taking action, but it is those beliefs that you have around them that are keeping you stuck. And so act on that excitement to the best of your ability. And number 3 is act on that excitement with absolutely zero insistence or assumption with respect to a specific outcome. Let go of that attachment. This is something I teach a lot in my course, which is let's be highly intentional with absolutely no attachment to what it's supposed to look like or the outcome. Pursuing whatever that is in your life, in your career, with high intention, high excitement, you could say, right? And absolutely no attachment to the outcome. That is the absolute best way to go about life, to have life show you what that next step is, because you could take that intentional action and have it'll produce absolutely nothing sometimes. Absolutely nothing comes of it immediately. Sometimes all that's needed is patience. But continuing to take action with excitement, with intention, with absolutely no insistence or assumption with respect to a specific outcome. Understand that insistence on a specific outcome, manifestation, or path may actually prevent a better manifestation that you imagined. So we get linked to and attached to that, if I do this thing in this way, I should see XYZ outcome. And because we get so attached to it, it's like a pinhole. It's like looking through a teeny tiny pinhole out at your life. And because through that pinhole, you don't see something that you want to see, you say, oh, well, it didn't work. I'd say that's a big problem with people learning to market themselves, is that there are a lot of actions to take that the end result may not look at all like what you want it to, but it's through the high intention, low attachment, and consistent action taken with as much excitement as possible, with absolutely zero insistence or assumptions in respect to the specific outcome. That is the best way to market yourself. Then you're free, because you need to make a lot of mistakes. You need to learn. You need to fall on your face and be a little bit messy. If you try to make it perfect, you will be crippled. And I think that can go for learning to exercise. People want to, I want to wait to lose weight before I go to the gym. I want to diet a little bit, lose some weight, then I'm going to go to the gym. It's like you're waiting to get the outcome that you want before you take the action that leads to the outcome. Like, how silly is that? But we do that. We do that all the time. The thing itself that excites you may not need to come to fruition. Interesting. It may only excite you to get you to take action in order to create the state of being in which the thing that actually needs to manifest can do so. That state of being, that positive state of being of seeking the opportunity and taking action with intention, with excitement, may not lead to anything that you wanted at all, but you needed to do that in order to create the state of being which the thing that actually needs to manifest can do so, which the thing that you actually are authentically meant to create in your life can do so. And that attachment to a specific outcome is very often the thing that's blocking that from happening. Bashar says something, and if you look up some of his other videos, he talks about manifestation and how we kind of have it a little bit wrong. And as someone, I've worked with manifestation coaches, I've read all the books and researched all the energies and the Kundalini meditations and all those things. And his perspective is very different. I really like it. And it's not that we need to start to resonate at the frequency of the life that we want to live. That's not actually how it works. You already have that life, that frequency existing within you. You don't need to find it or create it. I think tapping into it can be very helpful, but that alone is not going to manifest that in your life. Really, what will manifest that life, that experience, that career, that relationship, that whatever it is removing those beliefs, those identities that block you from allowing that thing that already exists to show itself. And if you're really honest with yourself and you really look at your life and the fears and the feelings of not enough or the feelings of not deserving, those are those beliefs. The feeling that money is hard, that it has to be hard, those beliefs are keeping you, blocking you from allowing that experience of the most fulfilling and rewarding version of your life that you know you want, but you're almost afraid to say and admit because those beliefs, those restricting, limiting beliefs are keeping you from doing so. If you were to remove all of those and you were to take action on the opportunity that excites you the most, act on that excitement to the best of your ability, and act on that excitement with absolutely zero insistence or assumption with respect to a specific outcome. To do these three things, you literally need to remove those internal blocks, those belief systems. Otherwise, you can't do 1, 2, and 3. You can't do these. And so he says, acting on this 3-part formula with integrity aligns you with the complete toolkit of excitement that provides every form of support, abundance, or information you need. So if you're looking for more support, you're looking for more abundance and information, acting on this with integrity. And I think, looking at that word integrity is really important, actually. I want to sit on that for a second. It takes, I've found, a lot of practice, a lot of meditation to go inside and really be honest with yourself about those internal beliefs that are holding you back. When we kind of say, oh yeah, I've done the work. Yeah, I did it. I've meditated for hundreds of hours and then you think you've got it, you've immediately fallen out of integrity with it. It's a constant practice and you're never done. So continuing to go inward and continuing to be honest with yourself. We are so good at lying to ourselves. I am so good at lying to myself. I've done it. I do it all the time. You do it all the time. And then we lie to ourselves about the fact that we lie to ourselves. So let's just let it be okay. Oh yeah, I lie to myself all the time. I tell myself stories about the way I am, the way the world is. I create these belief systems and then I live as if they're true when they are complete bald-faced lies. And we allow that to go on. And so with integrity, act on this 3-part formula with integrity aligns you with the complete toolkit of excitement that provides every form of support, abundance, information you need, becomes the driving engine that moves you forward. Where do I get motivation from? Act on these 3 things with integrity. Acts as the organizing principle that shows you what to act on, in what order, and when. Right? We get overwhelmed. We're like, I don't know what I should do. I don't know where to do it. Act on the thing that excites you most with integrity. Do it to the fullest degree without any attachment to what the specific outcome will be. Then you know what to do. But you lie to yourself. We lie to ourselves. Don't take this personally. We all do it. And we tell ourselves, I'm just overwhelmed. I'm just confused. And we tell ourselves that to conceal the fact that we're actually just afraid of taking action in the direction that excites us most, because we have beliefs about what that means that don't serve us and keep us from taking action. And so as long as I'm confused, as long as I'm overwhelmed, well, then I don't need to take action on that thing that actually terrifies me because I'm confused and overwhelmed. So again, this takes rigorous honesty, rigorous integrity. But I know if you're listening, if you've listened this far, you're the type of person that's capable of that. I know you are. So I'm glad you're here with me on this journey. This presents you with the path of least resistance to flow through life. Wouldn't that be lovely? The formula that presents you with the path of least resistance to flow through life? That sounds wonderful. Like when I'm tattooing and I'm not trying to tattoo, I'm not trying to figure out what the tattoo should look like. I'm just in that state of flow and the tattoo's just showing me what it wants to do. And my hand moves one way. I don't know if anyone's had this experience where your hand does something and we were like, ooh, I don't know, was that, did I want to do it like that? But then you see something else and you're like, ooh, what, maybe I could do it like this. I could do it like that. I don't know if this is something every tattoo artist experiences. I experience this all the time. And it's like, it's just trust. It's just flow. And I feel like I'm watching my hands do the tattoo. Imagine if you could just watch your body live your life. And you made mistakes, but those mistakes led you exactly to the next thing that you needed because you were trusting that you were acting on your highest excitement and you had no attachment to a specific outcome. This presents you with the path of least resistance to flow through life. This connects you to all other expressions of your excitement, no matter what form they come in. Becomes the reflecting mirror that reveals anything within your beliefs that is out of alignment with your true vibration of excitement and leaves nothing relevant out. So this is the formula that is laid out to us by this being, Bashar. I have been deep diving into this work, and I am looking at it through the lens of how does this help me open up to experience the natural state of abundance that is not tied to money. It's not tied to any amount of money or anything like that. It's tied to that freedom, that flow, that ability to move forward in life on the path of least resistance with the most amount of flow and love and joy and gratitude and generosity as possible. So yeah, this was a fun one. If you want to hear more stuff like this, if you want me to talk about more stuff, please leave me a comment on whichever platform you're listening. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Take care. Hey, I hope you enjoyed the show. Again, I just want to prompt that if you got some value out of this conversation, please go and leave us a rating and a review on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you saw this podcast. It really helps me out, and it really helps other people to find this podcast. I want more people to have these types of conversations around money so that we can all be more free and at ease and abundant and able to create the lives that we really want to live. So please share this and rate and review. Appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.